Welcome back to 100 Lies the God Culture teaches about the Philippines. Today's lie concerns Timothy J. Schwab's claim that the Philippine Islands are the mythical island of gold and silver known as Chryse and Argyre. This claim is central to his teaching that the Philippines is Ophir. Let's take a closer look. Tim claims, with absolutely no proof, that the ancient source of Greek gold and silver was the land of Chryse and Argyre, which was really the Philippines. Why would they sail all that way for gold? He never tells us, and he totally ignores the fact gold was available in Greek mines. Here is what that looks like according to Timothy J. Schwab. The top island is Chryse, which Tim claims is Luzon, and the bottom island is Argyre, which he claims is Mindanao. Hello? Where are the Visayas? What he is telling us is that the Greeks sailed to the Philippines, set up colonies, but were not able to accurately map the area. That is ridiculous and makes the Greeks appear dumber than they actually were. But Tim also says the Greeks kept this route secret. How would he even know that, especially when he uses ancient Greek descriptions of the world to prove his claim that the Greeks sailed to the Philippines? A close look at ancient Greek maps show that out of 9 maps only 4 have a location marked Chryse. 2 of those maps show Chryse as an island, while the other 2 maps show it as the Malay Peninsula. Only 1 map has Argyre. If Argyre corresponds to a real island, Mindanao, says Tim and the God Culture, then why is it on only 1 map in all of antiquity? The only map with Argyre is that of Pomponius Mela. Mela places Chryse near Point Tamas and Argyre near the Ganges River.
Alongside Point Tamas is the island of Chryse, beside the Ganges the island of Argyre.
Beside the Ganges is absolutely nowhere near the Philippines. Yet Tim has several videos where he goes on and on and on attempting to prove that the Greeks really had no idea where Chryse and Argyre were because they had lost the directions, and how we have to get into their mindset. The fact is the Greeks were familiar with India, having marched there with Alexander and engaging in trade with the Indians. What Tim wants us to believe is that the ancient Greeks were stupid, and we all know that is not the case. Beside the Ganges means beside the Ganges. While Tim has quite a few videos where he misinterprets maps from the Greeks, Romans, and Portuguese in a vain attempt to prove that Chryse and Argyre are the Philippines, I only want to review what he has to say about the periplus of the Erythraean Sea, because it illustrates how daft the man really is and proves that not only is he lying, but he has no idea what he is talking about.
Periplus of the Erythraean Sea in the 1st century records Chryse and Argyre is being located in the last part of the inhabited world toward the east, under the rising sun itself, beyond the land of China, which brought silk to India. Gee, I don't know, what islands are east of China? Wait, Ethiopia? Nope, that's not it. Yemen? No. India? Ugh. Someone must know their geography very well in speculating that those guys could possibly be this ancient land of gold. It's the Philippines. Oh yeah, and they also map it. So really, this is not rocket science, folks.
This is all wrong. First of all, the periplus of the Erythraean Sea does not mention Argyre. Only Mela mentions Argyre. Second of all, he flubs the directions. Chryse is not located beyond the land of China. That phrase is an addition by Tim. He sure does love inserting his own emendations into older texts to make them say what they do not. We saw he did the very same thing with Pigafetta when Tim claims he saw elephants in the Philippines. Here is what the periplus actually says.
And just opposite this river there is an island in the ocean, the last part of the inhabited world toward the east, under the rising sun itself. It is called Chryse. After this region under the very north, the sea outside ending in a land called this. There is a very great inland city called Thinny, that is, China.
In paragraph 63, Chryse is located near the Ganges, and it is described as both the very last land towards the east and an island in the ocean. Paragraph 64 starts off after this region. What region? Chryse. After Chryse and to the north is China. Remember, we are traveling east. China is not east of the Philippines. It is west. So, after Chryse going eastward and to the north is China. Chryse is not the Philippines according to these directions. Now, this is just a short video to prove that Tim is lying about Chryse and Argyre being the Philippines. I have a much more in-depth article you can read at the link in the description. In that article, one examine 9 ancient Greek maps and prove beyond doubt that the Greeks knew of nothing past the Malay Peninsula. Oddly enough, Tim says the Malay Peninsula on Ptolemy's map is actually Burma.
Of course, he's taking Ptolemy, who didn't even know what the Malay Peninsula was, and claims he says it was the Malay Peninsula. That's stupid. That's what that is. And then he never mapped it, okay, as he only goes as far as Burma in his directions. Duh. So, and then there are those who use Ptolemy principally as the primary source of Southeast Asian geography. Yet, one could not be more inept, as Ptolemy thought the Indian Ocean was enclosed after Burma. Hello? That's tens of thousands of islands that are non-existent on his map. The entire Pacific Ocean, it's gone. And you call that geography? Again, that's not academic. That's stupid. In other words, he not only is no expert on Southeast Asia at all. Let's be clear, he didn't draw it. It's not there. What he did draw is way out of place, and he didn't know what it was. He just knows legends that's in that area. And that's really all he's showing. And don't beat up on the guy, okay? I mean, he goes back to before this era even, so he just didn't know. But literally, he was not a Greek sailor in terms of from Greece. He was an Egyptian. So though he served for Greece, and he was Greek, or at least appointed by the Greeks, his family was, he was not in the know. Sorry, but he wasn't. And that's very obvious, because again, his map ends at Burma and encloses the Indian Ocean.
Everything about that rant is factually wrong. It's concrete proof that Timothy J. Schwab has no idea what he is talking about when it comes to ancient cartography, and that we ought not to trust his interpretations of ancient maps. But that's another life for another day.